Hey, finally live. Oh God, why does technology hate me? Well, for any of those who actually are going to be joining us tonight, this is going to be our video in lieu of a video this week, so to speak. But hope everyone is having a lovely night. Going to send out a few things just saying, hey, we're live because we're finally doing stuff and I finally figured out what the hell I'm doing. So, yeah, that's a thing because I really don't know anymore when it comes to these live streams. I really don't. It's like I think I know what I'm doing, then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, no, you're not doing this. I don't know why. So, sharing the word finally live. Can't spell either. I'm exhausted. It's been a very long week. So, and I have my chat working, I think possibly on the computer and possibly just in case on my phone, because definitely don't want to happen what happened last time because that was extremely embarrassing. Oh boy. And it's all she wrote for that. So hope everyone is doing well again. And I guess just to kind of go over what I'm going to be working on tonight is just a couple of projects that I'm trying to kind of clear off my desk, so to speak. One thing is I'm working on a pair of disruptors, and these are going to be going to someone as a gift. Doing two of these, they're going to be both black and gold, basically same paint job on each one. I'm going to be doing one up in a clean version, and then another one I'm going to be doing the silver dry brushing and like weathering and all that stuff to make it look really worn. So it'll be a pristine and a battle worn version of these. This is kind of a Batman inspired paint job from the Batfleck and Nolan trilogies with the black and the gold kind of all overness of it. So that one's going to be the one that's going to get weathered. I'm probably going to start doing that one. I do have the other one that I will need to start getting worked on. So going to start stripping this one out, sanding, getting to work on that. One of the other things I was thinking about doing is for my Destiny cosplay, since what's a Guardian without a ghost, I actually got one of these guys at Target a while back. This is the Kill Tracker Ghost. I forgot who actually makes these, but they actually have come out with a bunch of them. They have the original one and really a bunch from Destiny 2. They have the Kill Tracker, they have the Last City Shell. They just recently came out with Sundance, which was Cade 6 His ghost. They also have a lambda shell, which is like this really bright neon green. But I kind of always liked the Kill Tracker ghost, so I went with that. I don't know if I want to put any kind of weathering on this one, like a little bit of dry brushing along like one of his edges, like he rubbed up against something or whatever. Just trying to put a little story on it. But yeah, the good thing is also it does come with this nice little base and a clear acrylic rod. So when I just stand there and hold it in my hand, it kind of looks like the ghost is floating a little bit. So it it kind of adds to the whole aspect of it. Clowny, that is absolutely disgusting. Thank you for sharing that with the class, though. I'm not repeating it. If you want to know what the hell that man said, you can read it in the chat. Sweet Jesus, man. But got a couple of things here, so get started. So I have to say, well, I was very disappointed when this disruptor came out originally because A, got rid of the strong arm. Although there are those new strong arms on Amazon that are that just started the those repainted color ones. I gotta say, those actually look really sweet. Uh, for the love of God, man. That's Uncle Clowny, folks. I am not acknowledging these things, man. No, just no. Although, let's see if I can do this real quick. There, since I usually am on your streams for some reason, now you're one on mine. And yet they still happen. Yes, this is that's kind of true. But I do kind of like those new ones, the new recolored shells on Amazon. Those are really nice. The purple one isn't what, even though you can tell I have no problem with purple, but I'm not feeling the purple strong arm. However, I do like it just for the simple fact that the drum, front muzzle, and trigger are red. So, and the clear one does actually kind of pique my interest. So I wouldn't mind getting a pair of those, the clear and the purple one, and then just start mixing and matching things on that. Because, truth be told, I think that would be really freaking awesome. But I do have to say, on the one plus side with the disruptor over the strong arm is that everything, I mean everything, basically comes apart. So, open up. Two screws there. Yeah, I forgot there are two hidden screws under the slide. And thankfully, every single one of these screws, no matter where they are all the same length. So, come on. There we go. But yeah, everything about the shell comes apart. The front and even all of the internal pieces, made made for painting that thing very, very nice. So, if you are just joining us, I am just kind of going over, taking apart this disruptor to try and recreate this one again. And this one, depending on how the stream goes, I may start weathering it a little bit. So there's that. Also, I have just about finished the chest plate for my Hunter cosplay with the help of Arlene. So that's been kind of a very big ongoing project for the last month and a half or so, working on and off that. And I do have to say, I now know what she was feeling when we were working on Starfire because I'm getting really excited about this thing, and it's I think it's coming along very nicely. So, come on. Aha! I forgot. This piece is actually also screwed in too. So, eh, I'm on it. Hey, Shade, how you been, man? And no, that is not true. A Titan is not better than a Hunter. I'm sorry, my friend. But we are going to definitely agree to disagree upon that fact. I have mained a hunt. I'm going to be one of those people. I have mained a Hunter since the beta of Destiny. So there is no telling me otherwise on that. I guess Hasbro's trying to screw you over. Good one, Shade. But I have to say, working on that one was a very fun project. And okay, you guys, play nice. It happens, especially with the way everything kind of went in Destiny Shade. I definitely see where you're going on that one. I had we actually had a bunch of friends over on the group that I play with, Team Daba, that started out in Destiny, and then we all just kind of splintered off a little bit. So the only ones left really playing Destiny, I guess you can say hardcore, is just what's left of Team Dad Jokes, which is me, my buddy Wolf Boy, and our friend Stargal. So yeah, we're kind of like the last vestige of it, and everyone comes back once in a while, depending on what's being played. But this is not Fallout 4, even though half of my workshop is adorned in Nuka-Cola stuff. But after the Hunter armor, I'm telling you, T60 battle armor is going to be the next project. I'll be back as soon as Apex is boring. Apex already is boring, or so I've heard. Anyway, so I'm just going to get to standing now while you guys have a little video game argument in the comments, which I must say is friggin' hysterical. So, but it is what it is. So, I still enjoy it. Right now, working on the Season of the Drifter, it's interesting. I'll give you that. I don't know if you've seen any of what the incoming DLC has been, Shade, or not. See, that's the thing. I don't think Bungie is the one that kind of screwed the pooch on Destiny. I really think it has been Activision that's been kind of screwing them over on that one. Because with all of like the loot boxes and all that kind of stuff, and or I should say with Eververse and all, I really think it's been more of that was more of a an Activision thing because we all know how money hungry Activision is. So, but what are you gonna do? I have to say, in regards to storytelling, they're definitely back on track. I think it started very well. To me, it started with the Warmind DLC. Um, I think Osiris was they dropped the ball with Osiris. They recovered with Warmind. Um, in my opinion, Forsaken played out very well. I really enjoyed Forsaken. The Black Armory, not so much. And Season of the Drifter hasn't been terrible. How's your hopes for Borderlands 3? Borderlands was actually something I never really kind of got into, surprisingly. Um, I had played the first one like a little bit. I never really played the second one. I never played the pre-sequel. But yeah, Borderlands was surprisingly one of the ones I just never really cared for. Yeah, because that's one thing that the game that is just like loot collection in the game. So yeah, Clanny, how are you torturing your friends tonight? other than the way you started off my comments. Actually, Shade, since you had already brought it up, if you have not seen this yet, I'm like with everything, I'm late to the game on it. But if you guys have not seen yet, or at least the fans of the Fallout franchise, or I should say the current Fallout franchise, if you want kind of like a funny Let's Play series, go check out Many a True Nerd. I have been watching his uh, survival playthroughs of Fallout and then of Fallout 4 and New Vegas. And honestly, I'm going to say this: kid's funny because he just plays with just like if he was there answering certain things or his reactions to stuff. It really is just something to just sit there and kind of just be like, you can just sit there and enjoy it. And his episodes are actually kind of they're just the right length. They're usually a little over half an hour, but mostly under an hour. I'm gonna say not all of them are under an hour because there are ones that will run a little bit longer, but that's one I would definitely suggest. The fun of grinding off this white paint is it goes right into the instructor name. So this is going to be a fun thing because unlike the strong arm, where you had that nice little nameplate on it that if you wanted to, you could just kind of grind it off. Yeah, no, instead, with these, I hate when Hasbro does this. They kind of engraved the name of it into the plastic. So that is a huge pain in the ass. Sup, Wolf Boy, in the comments. Thanks for coming out and joining. We were just talking about you slightly a bit ago. Don't worry, all things good. Don't watch before this part. But yeah, this like really kind of annoys me, especially with the aesthetics of what I'm trying to do with this. So we're also possibly going to be using some Bondo tonight. So that's going to be fun. So I'm going to try and get what I can off with just the regular sandpaper. I'm not going to be doing the Dremel just because I do not want to destroy anyone's delicate ears who are watching this. Okay, well, don't say I didn't warn you, Wolfie. Yes, duct tape will fix anything. Didn't you just read the last comment? See, Shade agrees with me. Oh, and for anyone who is watching and is wondering, in regards to the camo or the digital camo that's on these stupid things, yes, with some 220 grit sandpaper, as I knock everything over, you can with just a little elbow grease, really kind of knock this out. So that's also why I'm not using the Dremel right now, because the only thing I'm going to need it for is the Nerf logo here, and on here, eventually the Elite, but I can always do that like later after I get the Bondo in and all that. So, but I do want to try and get as much of the digital camo off as I can, because that is still a pain in the ass. One of the first few mods on Nerf Haven, yeah, when we had nothing but rocks and sticks, and we were using message boards back in the day. We had to use rocks and sticks to grind off the digital camo off of the blasters. And back then, we didn't even have digital camo. We had real camo and real guns. Wait, no, they're still fake. Actually, okay, so yes, Cloud. I will say, for the most part, yes. Usually, the white paint on here, and he's referring to this, is a notorious pain in the ass to get off. But I gotta say, the 220 actually does take this off pretty damn well. With enough elbow grease, it does actually it does come off. Uh, hey, and welcome Gygax and OC Nerf. Hey, how you guys doing? So now, what you're going to want to do though is to make sure that, because of all this additional dust on here, you will want to wipe this down before you do anything else with it, because most of this dust is that shitty white paint. But really need to get back to my launcher I was working on last summer. Yeah. Oh, you kidding? I'm just gonna move out of the way for a minute, because see all the crap under there? Yeah, that's the projects area. Not so much the phone, but just like the random blasters under there. That's all shit I gotta work on still. Not including some piles back there and a couple of other things. Have you tried using them? No. I've actually never heard of LA's awesome to remove the devil's white paint. Pray tell, what is it? Yeah, because I've had some issues with uh, the goo off stuff when trying to remove labels off of the X Shot and Adventure Force stuff. Because while it's good, if you use too much, it's basically just acetone, and it just starts eating right through the ABS plastic that these things are made out of. I one time used too much on a Reflex 6, that I'm like, why is it so soft? I actually put a gouge in it with my nail. I'm like, oh, that's what happened. I softened the plastic too much. Yeah, it will eat plastics, but if you use it in a light enough coat, it doesn't. It's when you start getting heavy-handed with it, it will go. It will eat through the plastic very quickly. Uh, I'm gonna have to look into this stuff now. You may have found a convert in using the LA awesomeness. Because I also have a few things in my bins that I've actually already have painted and I was not happy with the results. So if that can also help strip out some of that stuff, that would be a really good thing. Dollar General, really? Huh. Well, you always find a couple of good things in there. $5 for half a gallon, damn. Well, that's side's mostly sanded. I need new workshop towels. Scott's the cheapest towel money can buy you, which is not saying much. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's still a little bit on the top here I can get rid of. Well, I guess if it's good for stripping minifigures, it should be good for stripping Nerf file blasters. So that's another reason why I have to find another really good hobby store around me. Not so much for the getting minifigures, but just getting a better kind of like model paint. Because I still have a bunch of test store stuff that is just, it's not bad, but I see people use so much better stuff like Model Masters or even that crap that Coop used to use back when I watched them. Um, I mean, those look like really nice model paints, and test stores is just such a pain to use. All right, so that is now done for the time being. Side 2. Citadel, that's the one I was thinking of. Yes, Citadel paints. I gotta find a good source for those because I need better paints. Because for as much as I remember them, honestly, these little bottles aren't the greatest thing. They take forever to dry, and they can be such a pain to use. A slice of Nerf pizza. Welcome to the stream, my friend. And yes, there is sanding going on, sanding for a project. And for those who are a little late to the game, if you're wondering what the hell I'm going to be doing to this, well, it's going to be this. It's going to be a Batman-themed disruptor. This one is already done. I am noticing places that I missed on it, which I'm actually kind of mad at myself about. But I'm okay with it because this one I'm going to weather. This one is going to be a pristine version of this, which is basically what this looks like. And then I won't have to like really kind of worry about the mistakes and blemishes and sins on that one. So there's that. Also, I cannot say the praises of this as much. If you need sandpaper, this 220 like kind of rolled stuff, oh my god, this is like the best sandpaper I've ever found. So much better than like the actual paper stuff. I wish I could find this in 400. The highest I can find it in my local depots is 220, but this stuff is awesome. See, that's my one problem. I don't have a Hobby Lobby easily accessible to myself. Um, that is true, Clanny. Enough cheap acrylics will work and eventually will kind of get you through stuff, but this is like the stuff that I use, and it does take quite a couple of coats to actually get that on, to even be visible, so to speak. Yes, it is. Yes, I am loosely basing the paint scheme on the Batman Boomco Blaster, but that's because the Batman Boomco Blaster was based on the one from the Nolan trilogies. So, yeah, it's a Nolan slash Batflick themed pair of disruptors. So, I know, I know. I'm basically jinxing myself saying I'm not screwing this one up. Meanwhile, at the end, you're just gonna see me crying in like 3 weeks, going, "Oh my god, this is ruined." A giant blob of like, uh, I don't know, of barge cement fell on it or something. I don't know, but yeah. Now I know I'm going to be jinxing myself, but I'll be honest. After the day I had today, fuck it. I have attended the Christopher Titus School of the Epic Fail, and you know what? I'm just at it. Hey, Matt, welcome. Sorry, you haven't missed too much. You did miss the $10,000 giveaway, though. Sorry about that. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, if I had $10,000, believe me, I'd be doing something a lot better than just this right now. But no shade. I will not invoke that name. We've had these discussions. We're not getting into it right now. No. Oh, you're stuck with me now. Hey, thank you guys for this sub. And I do want to remind anyone who is watching who hasn't actually subscribed yet, if the channel by the end of this year, January, God, I am fucking exhausted. By December 31st, 2019, if this channel has hit 1,000 subs, I will be doing some kind of really awesome, super cool giveaway once we break the 1,000 subscriber threshold. So just a reminder, I know I mentioned it earlier in the year, and I've kind of like been lax on it in mentioning it other places. So I remember Uni was one of the nerfers who like really kind of got me into this stuff also. So yeah. You and who? Thank you, Clanny. Yeah, Uni 13 always had some interesting stuff. Damn nerfers, not nerf the Thorn. George, you would love it if I made you a Nerf Thorn blaster. Don't lie, you know you would. You would love it if I nerfed the Thorn for you. Since you just got back your precious. And honestly, what I think was one of the trolliest Destiny strikes that we've done yet. I think that thing was trollier than Valis to Arc. The Juju beats all. I'm sorry, Shade. I am with George. I am with Wolfboy on this one. I do like my hand cannons, so sorry, bud. Right now, truth is law. Pop put out a new video. That was very surprising, and B, it was great to see him back. Papatachi was definitely one of the best nerfers, and in my opinion, still is. His stuff was beyond reproach, in my opinion. And I would like to say, thankfully, I was actually able to. I actually did get a chance to nerf with him at his final Nerf war that he attended, which was really frigging awesome. Well, Slice, I will tell you this right now. Despite what other people have said, frog tape is garbage. Don't use frog tape. It is terrible. Don't use it. What I use is this. I use the cheap blue shit. I also do have somewhere else. Oh, there it is. I also have a roll of this, the blue tape from 3M. This actually also works really well. I would use this one more so on stuff you've already painted. If you're doing a base, if you do base, my suggestion is always vinyl dye is the best base you can ever do. This won't really pull up the vinyl dye if it adheres properly and you let it cure right. So this is good for if you definitely want very good, sharp, crisp knit lines. This stuff also works really well. It doesn't have the same tackiness as this because this is basically just blue masking tape. This is actual painter's tape. So those are my suggestions on those things. Also, yeah, decent paint definitely is worth it. My big ones are for a base coat is I use the Duplicolor vinyl dye. This stuff, honest to God, works miracles. I do also have like a can or two of the Duplicolor Perfect Match. I have a red one, and I also have a gunmetal one, which somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this stuff is a lot more expensive, but it actually does look really nice on Nerf blasters. But for the most part, I honestly just use this stuff because once you put this on top of a vinyl dye base coat, this stuff does not scratch off. But again, this is all making sure it does adhere properly. So that's just my little painting tutorial 101 notes stuff. Again, mileage may vary, but it is what it is. I haven't used vinyl dye yet. I gotta say, vinyl dye is expensive. It's definitely more expensive than normal spray paint, but I will say it's one of the few things I actually did take away from Coop's videos. It does, once it dries, if it adheres to the plastic properly, it doesn't come off. Like, this is my Night Raven. this gray is vinyl dye. And this is not clear coated. Nothing. So, believe me, vinyl dye is definitely worth the investment. So, get yourself a can of. You really only need, in my opinion, you need 3 colors, if ever. Charcoal gray, which it's just something other than black, and definitely a matte black and a gloss black. So. I missed something here. Oh my God, that's the line of the night, Lonnie. But yes, that is the one he did go down at. Because after that, I don't think he ever went to another Nerf war ever again. I think that was his retirement one. He still was doing stuff after that, but I don't think he wore it. He definitely didn't come down to us again. He was afraid of the trees, but surprisingly also now I'm looking back and thinking about it. I think that may have been John's last war too, before he really got to the point of where he couldn't come out anymore. So it was notable for, at least for me, for several reasons. First time I ever got to play with Papatachi. Last time I ever got to play with Papatachi, and last time I got to nerf my friend John. So it was a momentous occasion, and actually I think I have video of that war footage somewhere on the channel. Yes, the filler primer for 3D printed parts is actually a very good thing. Thank you for mentioning that one, OC. I actually did, funny enough, I actually did use the filler primer on this, along with the Bondo and all that stuff, to try and cover up the disruptors best I could. The filler primer actually did adhere to this surprisingly very well. But I did use it on my hunter's knife, and this was a 3D printed piece that I got. I have a video on the channel if you guys want to go check that out. But yeah, this was 3D printed from a guy somewhere in the world. I will be honest, I think I attributed to the Eastern Bloc in my video. I will be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% sure where he's from, because his shop says Australia, but this shipped from Turkey. So go figure. But yeah, this was vinyl. This was 3D printed, and then I sanded everything. I did the base coat of filler primer, and it basically knocked all the lines out, which I was really, really, really happy with. Sorry you have to see that. That's a little easier to read now. I swear if you throw it. No, that is the good one that does not get thrown. I will be eventually making, once I can get my bandsaw, I will be making a foam version of the hunter knife that Bill Durant from Punished Props actually made a free template for, which I do have several copies of. Once that's made, George, I make no promises. Uh, all right, take care, Shade. Thank you for coming out. Enjoyed it. Throwing bandsaw. No, I am not throwing a bandsaw at Wolf Boy. Once I make a foam version of the hunter knife, though, that may accidentally slip out of my hand as I'm showing it to him when he comes over next time. Just saying. Okay, so this way no one thinks I am this horrible of a human being. I think I should I think I should let everyone in kind of on the joke for that one. Make a foam bandsaw. I have enough I have enough of that pink insulation foam. I probably could because I know Arlene doesn't want to use that for any more projects whatsoever. But okay, so here's the story of the throwing knife. So in Destiny, the hunter melee is the throwing knife, the thing I just showed you. Well, I play as a hunter. Wolf Boy plays as a warlock. And what I would used to do is, depending on the strike that we were doing, it was usually the end of the one in the pit, the Alakul strike in Destiny 1. What I would do is, as he would get the chest, I would throw my trip mine grenade, usually at the back of his head, and wait for it to go off. But they nerfed it to where you can't stick the trip mine grenade to people or NPCs anymore. So I couldn't do that. So I told him to turn around one day, and I just whipped my knife and I unicorned them so perfectly. And it just became a thing. And every once in a while, I'd just be like, "Hey, Wolf Boy," he'd turn around, whap, just right in between the eyes, unicorn him. And, and it's just become a thing, and it's carried over into Destiny 2, which he absolutely despises. Make me once I make once I get that hunter knife done, if ever I see you slice, I will unicorn you. What the hell? Why not? Or if you happen to be on Xbox and playing Destiny around the same time I am, if you want to join a fire team, I'll be more than happy to unicorn you. Um, yeah, but then it also became our friend Trogdor. He plays as a hunter. He played as a Titan in Destiny 1, but he plays as a hunter in Destiny 2. So now he's in on it too. And it's just unicorning warlocks. So sorry, bud. Yes, that's true. The arrows and the thorn bolts do work, but it's not a knife. Especially now with the way of the way of a thousand blades. I can make you a tricorn and hit you with three knives at the right distance, or hit you and Stargate at the same time. It's always a fun one. I'm a terrible friend, but it's still funny. Okay, those those are for the most part done at that point that I want. I'm gonna put the bondo on it because that's gonna take forever. By the way, this stuff is really good and stinks to high heaven. I should. I should. Also, this thing of glazing and spot putty, I actually picked this up at Advanced Auto Parts. It actually wasn't that badly priced either. It was I think less than $10, and I'm sure that is going to last me quite some time. And so sitting in the tube, I just want to mix it up a little bit just to make sure it's not all weird and clumpy. And then the fun of trying to ice this. Also, I have learned from doing the other one, this is most probably going to actually take about 2 or 3 coats of Bondo, because that's 2 coats, and you can still just faintly see Disruptor underneath it. So, yeah, that's fun. Ugh. I think you should be okay with that. That steel, the steel. I'm safely assuming you're talking about. Are you talking liquid epoxy or epoxy putty? Because if it's the putty, you should be fine. If it's the liquid resin, um, depending on the material, it might be a 50-50 shot on whether or not it's going to take well. So, need to finish my blaster. Yes, everyone needs to finish their blasters. But but my whole thing is, and I know a couple of guys will agree with me, especially Clowny, that if you don't at least have like 4 or 5 projects going on in your shop at once that need to be finished, you're doing something wrong. So the Bondo is on there. Now this is actually supposed to cure in like 20 minutes, half an hour, uh, depending on like temperature and alignment of the sun, and if your cat can do long division on a high holy day. But I'm going to actually put these aside and actually just let it sit overnight because, why not? It was putty though. What was the grip made out of? Ideas for projects. Yeah, that's always the fun one. Me and Connie have had several discussions about things that we will want to work on and just never get around to. Or as I like to tell Connie, it's like I always can come up with a great idea. I just can't figure it. It's just the execution of it is always very poorly planned. Never. I guess this is true. It was a Maverick. Well, if you were working with a Maverick, Clowney is the man to talk to about that. He is Mr. Maverick. I mean, the only thing that my love of the rough cut is only overshadowed by the love of the Maverick by that man. What's its name? Hammershot's also a great one. Hello, Tisha. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming out and joining us. So, I hope everyone is having a good time and enjoying the wonderful foray into madness that is my chat stream while I sit here and sand things endlessly. And that works too. Oh, thank you for sharing the link, Clanny. And yes, I welcome all of any friend of Clanny is a friend of mine. So come on over, come on, see what's going on. Working on a few things, breathing in way too much plastic dust, and just having a grand old time tonight. So well, I sit here and try and sand something as it got too many deep indents in it. And unfortunately, talking about the devil's white paint before, this is the devil's orange plastic. Because Claddy knows. Thank you for the kind words, Cloud. You truly are a gentleman and a scholar when you want to be. But if you think the devil's white paint is bad, you ain't seen anything until you tried to paint this stuff. Nerf orange plastic is probably one of the toughest things in recent years to actually freaking paint. Thank you for the sub, Tisha. And Clowney will definitely agree with me on this one. And this stuff will just bead paint like you wouldn't believe and just not take a drop of it. So you really need to sand the holy hell out of these things. You know what? I'll take that, Clown. Seeing as a sub is free, I'll double your subscription fee if you don't like what's going on here. Yeah, the orange pieces are a huge pain in the butt to paint. That's why usually what I'll tend to do is I'll hit them with a vinyl dye of some kind, and that's it. It's just whatever colored dye I have. That's what that piece is getting, and that's what color it's going to stay. It's very rare if I would actually paint over it, because usually a trigger you don't really see too much, so that can stay a base color. Same thing with the tack rail pieces, but crap like this and this, you do have to like kind of really work at it pretty well. The only one, because even on my modded hammer shot, which I got to see if I can get a red 7-dart cylinder for that thing, but for that one, I actually just red vinyl dyed the cylinder just because I didn't want the additional layers of paint to cause any friction issues, but just also for the simple fact of I didn't want to have to paint it like a third time or second time. The theme song isn't as good as Mr. Flash. No theme song is as good as Mr. Flash. Although I do try with mine, so. Oh, and if you didn't notice on this one, where I did where the cylinder is obviously already done, this is a gloss black vinyl dye that's on here. I'll dust this thing before I paint it. But you'll also notice, though, that I actually did just about everything except for the internal cylinders. Easy trick for that. If you're ever painting a cylinder, be it a Maverick, Hammer Shot, the Disruptor, Strong Arm, Spectre, whatever, cut down a dart, just cut it to length. Have it go flush, and then once you're done, pull the dart out, or in this case, since everything's already disassembled, just take something, poke it right out of the back, and you'll have a painted cylinder as much as possible and the internal dart barrels will still be clean for you to actually make a functional piece still. So another little friendly tip here. Ah, welcome, Joseph Torres. Glad you can make it out. Clanny, we've all seen you dance before. Please do not blind everyone again. I'm sorry, Slice. Unless one of these are your screwdrivers, I do not have it. Shuffle, shuffle. I can see when I close my eyes. Okay, Wolf Boy. Once you're done watching this, just so you can have this nightmare when you go to sleep, either go and watch my review of the Dart Zone Magnum, or go watch Clowney's review of the Nerf Rivals Chronos. And believe you me, that will replace any of your nightmares. Unless that's your thing, and if that is, more power to you. Jackie might be a little upset, but yeah, they give you some pigtails and a bottle of rye, and no, it won't stop anyway. Oh god, oh my god, I can't stop myself. Oh, this is the true sense of me being exhausted. I've just lost my ever-loving mind. Oh. Although I think the best compliment to the dance of that was, I want to say, I think it was OC Nerf who replied on my Magnus video that my reaction was more priceless than your whole video. Oh, God. Oh, there's so much of things where people get. Oh, God. Oh, that is true, Glenn. That is true. Uh, ow. Okay. Problem where big meatballs come into play is the cylinders are not finger sized, and I have to get in there, and it is really, really starting to hurt my fingers. That works. Yeah, that worked. Today I'm Martha Stewart living. Just because they found a picture of a black hole does not mean intergalactic teleportation is still going to be a thing yet. Besides, we have to wait for the Men in Black to clear it anyway. And the one good thing with at least this trigger is I don't have too much that I do have to sand on it, thank God. It just basically here forward and the front and the little bit of front piece here, because not all of it actually shows up on the in the actual trigger well, which is a bit of a godsend. Because honestly, anything less to sand would right now be amazing. So thank you all who have been around, and it's like a peach disco ball shelf. Oh, but I would like to thank everyone who has stuck around with me for this long. So, Sydney and Godsend. uh, but thank you everyone who has been sticking around so far, because I am sure watching me stand for like an hour is not the most riveting thing, but I am glad nonetheless that you have stuck around and joined me for this little bit. I think I am actually done with sanding right now, because I, to be perfectly honest, don't want to sand anymore. My hands are covered in so much damn dust, it's ridiculous. Uh, Nothing can be unseen. This is true. This is so true. Uh, oh, there we go on that. Uh, let's see. I think at this point right now, just going to talk about some of the things that are going on in the shop. Well, I have this obviously. We are also working on some other builds as well. Um, Surprisingly, just as a test to see how well they would actually come out, did actually get some nice stickers from Vistaprint, which I gotta say they aren't that bad. I mean, they're no vinyl cut thingy, but good night, Tish. Thank you for coming out for the little bit. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for the sub. Come back soon. Um, One of the things I will show, which is a progress of the chest plate. So this is the Hunter chest plate that is just about, like, I would say 90% done. I still have to put the straps on it, but over and all, I mean, this is basically completed. I may put a clear coat on it. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, all painting is done. Got the silver accenting there and there, the base of purple, and the gunmetal on the little accent pieces. So only thing left armor wise is I am starting on the shoulder pads, which this was just a prototype test, because it came out okay on one side, and then on the other side you can see it doesn't look all that great. So I don't think I'm going to be using this, but it was a good template to at least try. One of the other things is I was actually able to finally, if you follow me on Instagram, I finally have my Retaliator done, which I'm very happy with. This is like God, this thing is so heavy with that scope on. But this is an amalgamation of like so many random things, because you have the white Retaliator as the base, a Raider stock, a nice little Fallout 4 sticker there, a Gavin Fuzzy 3D printed Retaliator pump grip, a worker bolt sled, oh no, I'm sorry, not a worker bolt sled, an Orange Modworks Stage 2 bolt sled, a worker short dart kit in here, a Modulus night vision scope, and the final thing that came in recently from Thailand, and this was made by a someone on Etsy called, was it eCraft. He does 3D printed Nerf accessories and stuff. He's the only one who I've seen who actually makes this, and this is a back rail for the Nerf Retaliator with the pump grip in mind. Because when you do the pump grip, you tend to usually lose the slide, which has your tack rail on it. So this is just the stage 1 version of it. There is a stage 2, which basically connects the whole thing. So you wouldn't have like this little gap here, but it connects the whole thing and also removes the front sight and will replace it with a Picatinny rail. I think Wolfboy is afraid that he may get shot with this one day. Do not worry, my friend. I would not shoot you. Just watch the Cronus video. Oh, go watch my Darts on Magnum review to watch my reaction to that. It's honestly priceless. As the Covert Ops rifle mod, I will actually show that off too. That is right here. So the Covert Ops blaster it actually isn't that terribly bad. It does make for a nice little pistol. Oh, and as I was saying before about how making sure the vinyl dye takes, you can see here that the vinyl dye took in some places, and in some places it didn't. And if it doesn't take, it will chip off like normal paint. But yeah, I finished painting this little thing up just as a test to see like how some of the how it would look with certain things taped off and all. I will be honest, it's not my neatest job. You know, I tried my damnedest. It was just the lines were just way too small for me to like properly get a tape fitting down. But I did actually wind up taking out that back little nub where the speaker attaches to. And before I did that, though, I just filled it with epoxy putty and then just sliced it right off. Then a little bit of sanding to make it contour and all, and it fits really nicely. So the only thing is I didn't carve out this side to make it loading ambidextrous, but I mean, it still works. And even with the front of this thing solvent welded, or at least the yellow barrel, I have to say, if you actually do carve it down, it actually does look really nice if you're able to get rid of all of what would have been the front barrel. So there's that. Is there anything else that I've actually been working on? That's actually about everything I have right now at the moment. Glad you got my Jawa reference. Yes, I did get your Jawa reference because that's what I did with it. And this is what it looks like originally. And yes, this does look like the stupid Jawa blaster that they shoot R2-D2 with. So who knows? Maybe I might do that one next. But yeah, taking this thing apart was a bit of a pain. Plus side of it, if you want to just take off the stock with the speaker part, that can actually be easily done just by unscrewing everything here. Everything actually does unscrew off of this totally fine. The downside, this piece and this piece are solvent welded on. So you do have to pop, I was able to actually just pop this top part off with a flathead screwdriver. This, on the other hand, was a bit more of a pain in the ass to take out. I actually just wound up taking my Dremel with the cutoff wheel, did what I could, broke off what I could, and then just, kind of cleaned it up, and that was it. So, but that was really kind of that on that. If you do the mic, can I get a shout out? Abso-freaking-lutely, Matt. If I do make the Jawa Blaster, you will be the inspiration for it, and you will get full credit for it. All right, well, I think this tomfoolery has gone for quite some time. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and joining for the live stream. Yes, this will be in lieu of a video tomorrow, because I know Arlene is still waiting on fabric for one of the things that she's working on. And like I said, I really didn't have anything other than projects that are like half done to like really like kind of showcase for this week. So, but thank you all for coming out. And also, if you ever are interested in what I'm doing that actually doesn't show up here on the channel, definitely go give me a follow on Facebook or on Instagram. I do post up progress pictures of just random crap that I'm working on, like the what is it, the covert squad sniper rifle. I actually did post up a cut down version of that on Instagram, out along with my Facebook page. But yeah, definitely go check it out. Instagram, I'm Griever2112. Facebook is Griever2112, the Nerfing Lionheart. So yeah, the Buzzbee can be a pain in the butt to paint. Although what I would love to do is I'd love to actually try and paint one of the Predators, except for the fact that it has like that 90s HBO weird camo, digi camo on it. And that, honestly, that I have no desire to friggin' sand. I have absolutely zero desire to sand that right now. One day I may, but not at the moment. I don't hate myself that much. But thank you everyone for coming out. I'm gonna end the stream here, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks again. Later.